Into the next drug molecule, the profaxifene HCl. Profaxifene HCl. It's an this is the structure of the profaxifene HCl. Okay, so it's an 4-dimethyl MNO 3-methyl 1,2 diphenyl butane 2-vinyl propionate. 2-vinyl propionate. Okay, this is about the structure. Okay, so dimethyl amino group is here. Okay, 3-methyl 1,2 diphenyl butane 2-vinyl propionate. 2-vinyl propionate. Okay, so coming to the uses, it's an opioid pain reliever used to treat moderate to severe pain. It is major for treatment of moderate to severe pain. It's an opioid pain reliever. Okay, used along with other analgesic with anti-inflammatory and antipyretic active like paracetamol and aspirin. So for the to treat this along with the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents like paracetamol and aspirin, it is used in combination to get analgesic effect. This is about a propoxyphene HCl. Okay, so here we need to add a dot and HCl. Okay, propoxyphene HCl. Okay, so coming to the next drug molecule, the pentajocaine. So when you see the structure, okay, this has a benzene ring, cyclohexane ring. There is no this dihydrofuran ring. Okay, dihydrofuran ring, as well as there is no this another cyclohexane ring. So this ring is E ring is removed, and as well as A, B, C ring is removed. Okay, so when you compare the structure of this molecule with the morphine structure, which rings are removed? A, B, C ring is removed, E ring is removed, and also some functions like hydroxyl functions are removed. Okay, so that is the major difference. So coming to this, it has an allyl group. Allyl group means allylic means double bond CH2 CH double bond C. It's an whenever you replace alkyl group with the allyl groups or cyclopropyl groups or cyclobutyl groups, the agonist becomes antagonist. So whenever you replace an alkyl group of the nitrogen with the already discussed structure active relationships, whenever you replace an alkyl group, allyl group or cyclopropyl or cyclobutyl group, the agonist become antagonist. So it's pentajocaine is a weak antagonist of morphine. Okay, weaker than norepinephrine, levonorphin. Okay, so it strongly exhibits analgesic effect. Okay, first agonist, antagonist, marketed analgesic. It is the first agonist, and it has both agonistic properties as well as antagonistic properties. So pentajocaine is the first marketed analgesic with agonistic as well as antagonistic activity. Okay, so generally it comes in bits. We will get this question. So what is the first agonist and antagonist marketed analgesic means? Pentajocaine. It's an agonist at kappa receptor. So coming to the uses, used for various degrees of pain, for pre-anesthesia medication prior to surgical intervention. So it is given to the patients before surgery. Okay, this is about the pentajocaine. Coming to the next drug molecule, levorfan tartrate. We have to write tartrate structure. Okay, so when compared to the morphine structure, A ring is retained, B ring is retained, C ring is retained. Okay, and D ring is retained. There is a complete removal of this E ring. Complete, when you are comparing the structure with the morphine, complete removal of E ring. So when you completely remove an E ring, the agonist activity increases. When a E ring is removed along with its functionality, its analgesic activity increases. Okay, so that is the when we compare with the structure of the morphine, as we know that morphine is standard drug. Okay, this is the structure of the levorfan tartrate. It's a dextroisomer. Okay, it's a dextroisomer, shows no analgesic activity, but anti-tissue properties. Thus that the dextrorotatory isomer doesn't have narcotic analgesic activity, no narcotic analgesic activity, but it has anti-tissue property. Anti-tissue means it can make, it is used for treatment of cough as well as sputum. Okay, cough as well as sputum. So this dextrorotatory is not at all narcotically analgesic. Coming to the levorotatory, that's why it is called as levomethorphan. So levorphan is also called as levomethorphan. It exhibits activity similar to the morphine, such that dextrorotatory doesn't have analgesic activity but have anti-tissue property. But levorphenyl tartrate has exhibit analgesic activity similar to that of morphine, but has side effects. Okay, so side effects like nausea, vomiting are the major side effects with levorphenyl tartrate. Okay, it is four times more potent than morphine when we take IV route. When we take this levorphenyl tartrate through IV route, it is more times more potent than the morphine. Okay, this drug is recommended for relieving moderate to high pain in. Okay, so whenever these situations are a patient facing, you have to prescribe the levorphenyl tartrate. So it is mainly used for high to moderate to high pain treatment in biliary and renal colic or myocardial infarctions. It is used for biliary and renal colic and as well as myocardial infarction in serious trauma conditions, dealing of cancer pains, post-operational pain. Post-operational. These are coming to the uses. So it is used for moderate to high pain treatment in situations like in pathological situations or in patient situations like biliary and renal colic or myocardial infarctions pains, in serious trauma situations, relieving of cancer pains as well as post-operational pains. Post-operational pains. This is about the levorphenyl tartrate. Coming to the next drug molecule, nalorphine HCl. Nalorphine HCl. See the structure. So we already know that in the structure-active relationship lecture, whenever we replace an alkyl group with this allyl group or cyclopropyl group or cyclobutyl group, agonist activity becomes antagonist. So this is the structural modification made. When you compare this nalorphine with the morphine, it is structurally different on nitrogen atom. So for morphine it has alkyl group, but on this nalorphine the reason we have allyl group. So allyl, otherwise allyl is nothing but alkene group. This alkene group imparts antagonistic activity over an agonistic activity. Coming to this name, it's an N-allyl normorphine. It's an N-allyl normorphine. Okay, so this is the allyl group. Okay, so it's a very less analgesic activity compared to the morphine, used in as antagonist for narcotic analgesics to treat habituated patients with morphines. This drug is used. Okay, it eliminates suppression of respiratory center bradycardia. It prevents or it inhibits suppression of respiratory center by this morphine or narcotic drugs and as well as bradycardia. It is the first drug used for treatment of overdose of heroin. Nalorphine is the first drug used for treatment of overdose of heroin. So it is also used for treatment of vomiting caused by opioid agonists. To treat vomiting associates with the opioid narcotics, to control that vomitings, we have to use nalorphine. Okay, coming to the side effects, hallucinations. Hallucinations mean dreams, long dreams. So that's why nalorphine is prohibited nowadays. Okay, coming to the next drug molecule, that is a levorphan tartrate. This is the structure of the tartrate molecule. Okay, it's an 7-allyl morphine 3-ol tartrate. So again we have here, what we have? Allyl group. Allyl group means it is definitely an antagonistic in nature. What is the nature? Antagonistic in nature. Okay, there is no hydroxy group, there is no E-ring. Okay, so it's an opioid antagonist of morphine family. It's an opioid agonist of morphine family. Okay, used in general anesthesia to reverse the respiratory depression produced by opioid analgesics. The major effect is a respiratory depression. To reverse that respiratory depression, we have to go for levoorphin tartrate. Otherwise, nalorphin. Nowadays, nalorphin is prohibited. We have to go for levoorphin tartrate. So, it's also used for barbiturates, used for induction of surgical anesthesia. Okay. Also, barbiturates means sleep inducing barbiturates we will study in next CNS drugs. Okay, these barbiturates also like opioid, they will also induce sleep. So to reverse that sleep, we have to use levoorphin as antagonist drug. Okay, and coming to the last drug in as per the syllabus is the naloxone HCl. Oh, we have to draw here HCl here. Okay, according to the syllabus, so the last drug is naloxone HCl. Coming to this, when I see the structure, all are retained. Okay, at the 14th position, we introduced an OH group. This OH at 6th position is converted into a keto function. OH of morphine is converted to keto function. At 3rd position, the OH group is retained. Ether link is retained. At 14th position, we introduce new OH group. That means narcotic analgesic activity increases. Here also narcotic analgesic activity increases. There is a removal of double bond. So definitely there is a lot of increase in narcotic analgesic activity. But on nitrogen we have allyl group. So it has both analgesic activity, antagonistic activity. It has both agonistic activity as well as antagonistic activity. It is few times stronger than nalorphin as agonist. Okay, so it blocks opiate receptors. Okay, coming to the uses, it blocks opiate receptors and eliminates central and peripheral action of opioids. It will definitely avoids the action of morphines or morphine analogs at CNS level as well as PNS level, and it also eliminates respiratory depression. Okay, coming to the major uses is used for treatment of overdose of narcotic analgesics. These are about the drug profiles. So let me now discuss about the synthesis of drugs as per the syllabus. Okay. As per the syllabus, we have to write the synthesis of two drugs. The first drug is the fentanyl citrate. Another drug is the methadone HCl. These are the two drugs. We have syllabus. Under the syllabus of synthesis, we have these two drugs only under narcotic analgesic drugs. So first we will discuss about the synthesis of fentanyl citrate. This is the structure of the fentanyl citrate. We already discussed about uses. Okay, and as well it's UPAC name. So to save the time, I am simply skipping the uses and name. So coming to the synthesis. For the synthesis of this fentanyl citrate, we have to take the starting material is the N-phenyl piperidine amine. The structure is the blue pen. So the structure here is, wait for a second. Coming to the synthesis of fentanyl citrate, the starting material is the N-phenyl piperidine 4-amine. Coming its structure, we have to draw like this. 4-phenyl piperidine amine is the structure. Here is there is an HN. This is the piperidine moiety or structure. Okay, so there is an N-phenyl group. This is the starting material for the synthesis of fentanyl citrate. This fentanyl citrate is acetylated with the propenyl chloride, or otherwise on condensation with propenyl chloride, we will obtain 4N4-piperidine propionylate. So we have to make a condensation of 4-phenyl piperidine 4-amine as starting material with the reagent propenyl chloride. The structure of the propenyl chloride is CH3, CH2, C double bond O, Cl. Whenever you treat this with this N-phenyl piperidine 4-amine, the condensation occur and there is an elimination of HCl. HCl, this chlorine along with this, where it is attached, we have to add, no, this not, okay, this hydrogen will be eliminated, this chlorine and HCl will be eliminated as HCl, and we will get this 4-piperidine propanolide. So the structure of the 4-piperidine propanolide is the CH3, CH2, this is CH2, CON. So this group, this entire group will add here by elimination of this hydrogen and HCl, and we will get this group here. And there is a piperidine moiety. Okay, there is a phenyl ring system. Okay, this is the N4-piperidine propanolide. N4-piperidine propanolide. On condensation with this ethyl phenyl ethyl fluoride, again we have to go for condensation of this obtained 4-piperidine propanolide with this phenyl chloride, rather benzyl chloride. We will get this molecule. This is by this chlorine will take up this hydrogen, okay, and eliminates as HCl. Okay, so it becomes CH3, CH2, CON, phenyl group. Okay, there is a piperidine ring. This nitrogen, in place of hydrogen we have to add this molecule CH2, there is a phenyl ring. Okay, this is the obtained intermediate. On treatment with the citric acid, on treatment of this intermediate with citric acid, we will get fentanyl citrate. Fentanyl citrate. So the fentanyl citrate easily, this is the one. Okay, so we already will get this molecule. Okay, so again I am explaining. So for the synthesis of fentanyl citrate, the starting material is a N-phenyl piperidine 4-amine. This N-phenyl piperidine 4-amine is treated with the propanyl chloride. On acetylation at this nitrogen or otherwise condensation, this chlorine will take up this hydrogen and this group adds here, and we will get this N4-piperidine propanolide. This N4-piperidine propanolide obtained is treated with this phenyl chlorine derivative, and we will get this intermediate. This intermediate treated with the citric acid, and we will get fentanyl citrate. This is fentanyl citrate. This is about the synthesis of fentanyl citrate. Is this fentanyl citrate? Then after synthesis you have to write uses. You have to write uses also. So already discussed about use of fentanyl citrate before 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So after writing synthesis, first whenever any in exam for any drug, you have, whenever you are writing a synthesis of any drug, first write the structure of the drug. Okay, the structure of the drug. Then if you have remember the IUPAC name, just write the IUPAC name. Otherwise brand names. Otherwise if you doesn't remember the IUPAC name, just write the brand name, and that's the marketed formulation name here. Then write the synthetic procedure with if you have a capability of remembering intermediate names, just write the names, write the structures of the write the structure of the starting materials and intermediates, and finally at last you have to write the structure of the drug molecule asked. Don't write this like me, like fentanyl citrate. It is better to write the structure here. Better to write structure of the fentanyl citrate here. Then you have to go for uses. You have to write uses. At last you have to write uses. This is the way of writing for synthesis of a drug. Okay, this is about synthesis of fentanyl citrate. Coming to the synthesis of methadone. The structure of the methadone is here. So in the before 10 minutes I already given its IUPAC name and uses. So I am not wasting the time. So again I am directly going into the synthesis. In the synthesis of methadone, the starting material is the 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile. 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile is condensed with that. Otherwise, the synthesis of methadone involves alkylation of 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile with the 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane. It involves alkylation of the synthesis of methadone involves alkylation of 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile with 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane in presence of sodium amide. In presence of sodium amide. This reaction is generally performed in presence of sodium amide. The name is sodium amide. So the synthesis of methadone involves alkylation of 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile with 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane. So coming to the structures of this starting material and reagent is, this is the structure of 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile. First, it is better to write CH. This is a isonitrile. So it has two phenyl groups. Here, draw to write here. Okay. This is the 2,2 diphenyl. There is attachment here. Carbon, hydrogen attachment. Carbon attachment. I am writing again. So it's not good. So two phenyl groups. Okay. So coming to this, this is about CHCN. This is the 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile. It should be alkylated with the 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane. The structure of the 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane is as like this. Okay. The structure is Cl, CH2, okay, C, CH3, H, nitrogen, CH3, CH3. This is the structure of 3-chloro. That means this is the third position. 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane. This is the structure of the 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane. So whenever treated, we will on condensation in presence of sodium amide, we will get 4-dimethyl amino 2,2 diphenyl valeronitril as an intermediate. On alkylation of 2,2 diphenyl acetonitrile with 3-chloro-1-dimethyl aminopropane in presence of sodium amide, we will get an intermediate called as 4-dimethyl amino 2,2 diphenyl valeronitril. Its structure is C. There is an isonitrile group. There are two phenyl groups as like in starting material. Okay. So there is an addition of this amine group, amine alkyl group CH2, CH, CH3, N, CH3, CH3. This is the 4-dimethyl amino 2,2 diphenyl valeronitril. So the possible reaction is this hydrogen and chlorine will be eliminated. So there is a formation of bond between this carbon and this carbon. On elimination of hydrogen and this chlorine as HCl minus HCl, we will get, there is a formation of carbon bond between this carbon and this carbon. This is the simple way of representation of the bond formation, and we will get this attached bonded molecule. Okay, this is a 4-dimethyl amino 2,2 diphenyl valeronitril. It is treated with a Grignard reagent, ethyl magnesium bromide, C2H5 MgBr, and in presence of NaOH, we will get, and followed by hydrolysis. So first we have to treat 4-dimethyl amino 2,2 diphenyl valeronitril with Grignard reagents, ethyl, magnesium bromide, and NaOH. And after hydrolysis of the obtained intermediate, we will get methadone. We will get the methadone. We will get methadone. Structure of the methadone is, so obtained 4-dimethyl MnO 2,2-diphene valproate is alkylated with Grignard reagent C2H5MgBr in presence of NaOH. After hydrolysis workup, we will get methadone. The structure of methadone is as follows. Okay, we already read the structure. Okay, but I am writing. So at last step also you have to write the drug structure. Don't write the name of the drug molecule itself. Okay, CH2 CH3 CH2 CH3 CH2 CHN CH3 CH3. Oh, this is the structure of the methadone. Okay, this is the structure of the methadone. So after writing complete synthesis, it is suggested to write the uses of the methadone. So as per the syllabus, 2 drugs are there in the syllabus. The first is fentanyl citrate, the second is the methadone. With this, we completed the narcotic analysis, and the next lecture we will discuss about general anesthetics as a part of central nervous system. Okay, so this is about narcotic analysis. With this synthesis, we concluded the entire narcotic analysis in our syllabus. Okay.